First it rained for days and soaked the ground right through. Then the tempest started rising, how it blew. Then the river filled the valley past the roof. What could we do? Then the neighbors came to make sure we were okay. And the chainsaws cleared the biggest trees away. We found so many lives in disarray. What could we say? The losses here could not be quantified, but communities began to organize, and the agencies and volunteers arrived, and we all tried. So the water took our shelter, left us in the dark, but the river of compassion hit a higher watermark. If you've never really seen it, here's the power of real love. Hope is not the thing with feathers, it's the thing with boots and gloves.
This project in western North Carolina began after Hurricane Helene destroyed what we know of western North Carolina in fall of 2024. It had a tremendous impact across many communities, touched many Presbyterians, and touched a part of the country that's near and dear to me. Having grown up in that part of North Carolina, I knew the places and the spaces and recognized places where the devastation was just tremendous. It also began as an act to do good for at least one family, one person, one business in one location. I mean, the scale of the devastation was just ginormous. We couldn't fix everything, but we could do something that was really important and would have a tremendous impact on people's lives. First Pres gave a generous gift of $50,000 to Presbyterian disaster assistance for general relief in the area. And then just an act of conscience on my part. I was not satisfied that that was enough, and so began looking for ways in which we could step in, build a house, repair a business, recover a trailer, but put somebody's life back together.
What I've always appreciated about Jay is we look for ways to apply faith in action, specifically not in just broad terms, but in a focused way. The hurricane hit western North Carolina, and as often happens in times of crises, there's so many needs you never know where to start. I come from close to Old Fort, Marion, North Carolina. I spent a lot of my time growing up there and have family in the area, and immediately just called and said, well, when things settle down, we'd really like to be involved. My cousin Madeline works at McDowell Tech with the president. She soon pointed us to Camp Greer and said, this is the hub of activities for trying to do recovery. And I don't know if you know that geography, but Old Fort is right down at the base of the mountains where the Catawba River comes out. And so there was so much water flowing down, it did huge destruction to Old Fort. And she said, well, Camp Greer is the place to start. And we did. We contacted the people there, and Jason, and he pointed us to Ryan Edwards and Dina Edwards. Ryan helps do the maintenance for the camp. So it was an immediate connection.
We found our way to Ryan and Dina Edwards because we were struck with the notion that we wanted to connect with a person who had not only survived the floods and the hurricane, but had triumphed and had made the community better in spite of the devastation that they suffered individually as a family. And Ryan came to the forefront again and again and again as a witness to God's grace, to the power of community, and just to the simple notion that he cared deeply for the people in his community, Old Fort. It's said that he spent 5-6 weeks at the gate of Camp Greer letting people in and out and helping them get food, get their clothes washed, taking care of all of their needs, and turned nobody away. And so he had the kind of ethics and the kind of faith in action that we thought we should try to amplify. And so we did. We are. It's still happening.
Well, I didn't watch a lot of news. I just kept saying it was coming, it was coming. And it just kept rained for days. And I was staying here. My wife was down yonder in her other house. I stayed the night. I've been working up here, fiddling around. I went and got her. I said, you want to come out of there. She didn't want to, but I told them better. When we got up here, that's when it hit. I mean, it's like a wave, and I know you've seen ocean waves coming in. That's what it looked coming down that road. Like an ocean down here. You can see this tops of trees sticking out. Cars going down the road floating. And I stood here and watched mine float away. Or first to see my house. This one up here just floated, hit my house. And it's disintegrated, it's gone. And a vehicle started leaving. In Ryan's house here, big old log, come right through the yard, just broadside his house. The door was open, and it knocked the back wall of it out, just ruined everything in it. It was up to the ceilings, I think. It was bad. I mean, it happened so quick, and it left quick. I mean, it kept dragging on getting here. But they kept saying it's coming. It kept raining. And buddy, it come. Just all of a sudden, it came so quick, and it's like it when Jesus was standing here with me. Just everything just went away. It just like big vacuum, just sucked it all away, and everything just. Nothing left. He just took everything with it. But I can say that Jesus was with me, standing on the porch. So I felt his presence like he was behind me when I was opening the door. I felt something was there. I mean, I hate to lose everything, but it really don't mean nothing. Oh, it's fine. As long as you got Jesus around, he's going to take care of you.
So Ryan got the picture first, and our son, of our house from our neighbors that were like had a kind of catty corner, and they were up above. So they were on their porch with water at their porch, and we kind of got a timeline of the cars being in place, and then the cars moving, and then the floodwaters just going through the house. So we knew there were lots of vehicles, and then the houses across the street, our neighbors, their houses were no longer there. So the anticipation and fear of coming home to finding absolutely everything gone, we had to really gear our emotions to what we were coming home to find. We have friends in Black Mountain and in Swannanoa that woke up and they didn't even know the flood happened. So whenever they walked out their door, they could hear people yelling for help that they couldn't help. There were people in trees yelling for help. Whole neighborhoods were completely washed away. And I'm sure everybody saw in the news how bad Asheville was, but Swannanoa really got hit hard, as Old Fort did too.
I talked to Jason, who is the camp director, and that was the last conversation we had because everybody lost phone service because of Helene. And so we weren't able to communicate, and it's usually an 8-hour drive from the Outer Banks back to here. And so we knew we were coming into a world of, we didn't know what, just the flood. So I basically left in Tarboro all my beach chairs and stuff like that in the Lowe's parking lot, and picked up as many generators as they would allow me to buy, and chainsaws, gas cans, water, and filled up the back of my truck with it. And we headed back. Took about 12 hours to get back. We pulled up to the entrance to camp, and the camp director met me out there and looked like he had seen a ghost. He was so...
Oh, he was so happy to see you.
Yeah.
He really went through it by himself. Jason did.
Yeah.
He was sitting in his house, and a tree came down right beside him and went right through his house.
So then we had to basically have a manned position at the gate to take all the incoming deliveries and designate where we're going to store it and put it, and then just monitor the people coming in. So from daylight till dusk for 50 days, just sit down there in the dust. I had a broken leg at the time, so so I really couldn't do much.
But you did. He blew his boots out that he was wearing, like the medical boots.
Yeah, I went through 3 of the slip-in boots in those 50 days.
But the way that everybody banded together and people came from all over to help us, in neighborhoods, neighbors met people that they had never met before and started putting all of their food together, all of their resources. And it just shows how whenever there's a catastrophe, how us as humans can like come together and be there for each other, even if they're not of the same religion or political beliefs aren't the same. Whenever something like this has happened, as awful as it is, it has brought so many people together to find peace and love in like what in the past couple of years have, people have been torn so far apart. And Helene has brought people closer in the midst of destruction. So as awful as it's also been a beautiful thing.
That was well said.
Well, so I'm David Forney. I'm one of the pastors at First Presbyterian Church in Charlottesville, and we, through Kelly Epley and then Jay, who's a pastor at First Pres, were able to get thinking about how we could come in and do a replacement for the Edwards family in this home. And really important, you'll know that Ryan is and Dean are just fantastic and connected with Camp Greer, Presbyterian Camp, and anytime we can partner, we want to do that. And so University Presbyterian Church out of Chapel Hill was half the crew here this week, and it took us all of about 15 minutes to as if we're all known each other for the longest time. The week has just really been incredible that way.
Yeah, man, we made a lot of progress this week.
Yeah, it's normally Austin and I touching everything, driving it fast enough, and these guys showed up and blowed up, like material moving everywhere.
Yeah. And it was their youth that really made them such hard. No, I mean, how old is Dave? 87?
87.
87, and then, I think the youngest guy on the crew was Michael, right?
Probably.
Or Daniel,
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're about the same age.
Yeah, and they're right around
40s.
early 40s. Okay. Yeah, so these are braces holding up our exterior walls till we get the roof trusses put on. They're going to go on next week. So the next crew of volunteers, are they coming for both churches again? Yours and the
First Pres and UPC Chapel Hill, week 2. About 50-50 makeup.
Yeah, that's great.
So we had a fabulous go for week 2. I had a wonderful team, half and half from Chapel Hill, University Pres, a wonderful group of people from the Charlottesville area, worked together really well, came together as a group with a lot of conversation and sharing. The work was really important. It was wet and hot, and it was challenging. Our primary task was to put the roof on the house. We started on Monday straight away, put up some supports, and then raised up the trusses and by Thursday afternoon, we had put the roof on the house. It was just a tremendous kind of group effort. So one of the unique features of the week, too, was with an intergenerational kind of aspect to the week, and that Gary Vogan, an elder here in Charlottesville, invited his daughter Shelley Post and her daughter 12 or 13 to join the group, and we just had a wonderful time weaving all the different ages and abilities and perspectives, and so I couldn't be more pleased with how all that turned out.
First the water took our shelter, and it left us in the dark. But the river of compassion hit a higher watermark. If you've never really seen it, here's the power of real love. Hope is not the thing with feathers, it's the thing with boots and gloves. Hope is not the thing with feathers, it's the thing with boots and gloves.
So I also want to applaud our brothers and sisters from University Presbyterian Church in Chapel Hill, who so willingly said yes to the idea of joining together in this project. And we're just delighted with the enthusiasm and the warmth and the deep connection. Not only did they send a bunch of really gifted workers and spirits along, a substantial chunk of money along to speed the construction process. It was just a wonderful connection and a wonderful statement on the connectional nature of what it means to be Presbyterian.
My name is Mike Edmiston. I am a member of University Presbyterian Church in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Well, if the question was posed, why should my church get involved in this? The answer is simple, which is, why wouldn't you do this? We're very fortunate, at University Pres in Chapel Hill, and I'm pretty sure that First Pres in Charlottesville's members feel pretty fortunate as well. So if you're looking for a way to help someone else, if your outreach committee is saying, what should we spend our outreach money on? This is it. These are our neighbors up the road who need a hand. I can't think of a more worthy project for these churches to endeavor than to take this on. And not only this on, but it makes me think about, we're helping a family. Fantastic. Maybe we could help too. I think if other churches were doing the same thing, we could bring a lot to these people at Oakport, because they need help. I mean, it's rough here, and they need help.